Welcome to Northwest Aerospace News Live. I'm your host, Jennifer Ferrero. In today's episode, we're talking with Jon Page of Pexco Aerospace, who was profiled in the August-September edition of the magazine. We are excited to learn more about their recent product premiere of the Airshield. The product just launched in the marketplace this year. Read the article on the website northwestaerospacenews.com. Let's welcome today's guest, Jon Page.
Hi, Jennifer.
Jon.
How are you? Hi there. How are you?
Good. It's great to see you.
You too.
Jon, in the article, we focused on passenger well-being on commercial airlines, especially after a pandemic. We also discussed Pexco's business in the Yakima Union Gap area and what makes it special. Let's dive into some of those questions we didn't discuss before.
Sure.
In the article, you talked about the launch of the new product, Airshield, which was originally conceptualized by the company Teague and then brought to market by Pexco Aerospace. How is the initial product launch going? Are the airlines ready to install the product?
Well, anytime you introduce a new product into the aerospace industry, you have to go through rigorous testing, a lot of testing, and the airlines tend to be a little bit more conservative when putting brand new technology on the airlines or on the airplanes. So they really wait for FAA certification before they accept any kind of new products. So that's really what we spent our time on over the last 2 years is not only analyzing what Airshield does and how it makes the passenger experience better, but also going through the whole certification process. And that entails lots of different things from is it flammability testing and smoke evacuation to make sure that if there was any kind of emergency, it wouldn't affect that, and all the way up to the types of things like, do you bump your head on it when you get out of your seat? So it's a very practical and a very technical testing process, and we're right on the goal line. We're just about finished with that testing process and expect that certification here probably end of October of 2022.
Well, fantastic. It's so great to hear that update and what's going on. And I know a lot of people will be happy to have this product on the airline so that they're feeling safer and their air is clean. Well, Jon, another thing that we discussed in our initial interview was Pexco's ability to create antimicrobial products. Will these be just for airlines or also for other industries? And what's the demand in the marketplace for those types of products?
So Pexco is kind of a unique company. We make finished products for airplanes in the aerospace industry, but we also make materials, plastic materials, and we compound plastics so that it can be used in other parts of the airline. So other suppliers buy raw materials from us and injection mold little parts for all over airplanes for both Boeing and Airbus. So the demand is high for antimicrobial, and it's also high for specialty plastics that don't have halogenation or any kind of dangerous chemicals in them. So we meet the toughest standards, which is called REACH RoHS, which is used in Europe. And we make plastics that are used all over airplanes, and we make finished good parts or finished parts all over airplanes too. So you'll notice our products on for seat track covers. You'll see them covering up the seat track on airplanes, or we make the lenses. When you see the lights lighting up on an airplane on the inside, we make the clear lenses that go into that. And so being antimicrobial and safer chemicals for recycling and those types of initiatives, that's the stuff we focus on for the aerospace industry. We also make some things for, believe it or not, movie theaters. And we also make some products for food manufacturing too. And it's very important not to have any kind of bad chemicals in those products as they touch food or are open to the public. So it's very important stuff that we do here.
Well, fantastic, Jon. It sounds like you cross over a lot of different industries, so that's really cool to hear. Jon, I know that you have some props there. You can show us what this Airshield looks like. So why don't you just give us some visuals?
So this is an Airshield right here. Okay, it mounts up. You've probably seen this when you look up on an airplane. This is called a gasper. You kind of see how that looks. You're normally looking up at it and you move it around. And the air shield mounts just right over the gasper like this. And it mounts right up to the roof of the cabin right above you, like right where the stowage bin is. And you get to see it right here. And you can see how you have the air blades that are created here. And what it does is it magnifies the air that's blowing out of the gasper, and it blows out of these air blades to create those air curtains on either side of the passengers. So that's exactly how it looks. And this is a production ready air shield that's ready to be painted and installed right on an A320 Airbus plane right now.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic. I love it. And like I said, I think that the passengers, once they get onto the flight, they'll love that idea too. It's just safer, right?
And one of the things that we're going to do with it, it's, the airlines are very safe. The airplane, it's one of the safest environments we have. But what our product does is the airlines have focused on the whole environment, changing the air through the HEPA air filters for the entire airplane. Our area of focus is right on the head. So when we're sitting there in an airplane, 3 seats wide, and you've got someone next to you in the middle, and you're on the aisle, and someone's on the window, what if a guy in the middle sneezes? The airflow, this helps drive that air between you down to the HEPA air filters, and it reduces that transmission of particles between the passengers by almost 76%. So it's a really cool thing that we do. So we focus on the air right around the head with this, and it just kind of amplifies the highly effective HEPA air filters the airlines already have, and drives the air down and makes them even more effective, and just a kind of a safer and more enjoyable experience right around the passengers' heads there.
Boy, I love that idea. And especially one of the things you mentioned before was food smells too. When you have someone with their McDonald's sitting between you and you think, oh, that does not smell the best. Well, this will help with that as well.
Unfortunately, when you're on an airplane, you're dealing with people, and sometimes there's other things that happen. People smell. They might have worked out right before they got on the airplane, or they're drinking a coffee that doesn't agree with you. And so this is a way to, kind of reduce that cross contamination, because what smells is those air particles, those droplets that go between the head and people. And so it reduces that as well. So it's just kind of one of those things that if you're going to be on an airplane and it's full, because they're all full now, there's very few empty seats today. You might as well enjoy the effort or the environment the best way you can. And the best way to do that, we think, is by putting Airshield on the airplanes.
Boy, that's fantastic. Well, thank you for sharing about that. Now, something that really struck me when we talked before for the article was about the employee commitment at Pexco Aerospace down in Yakima, Union Gap area. Tell me about that.
So Yakima is an interesting place. We're in the middle of Washington, central Washington. Okay. So when people think of Washington, they think of this lush, beautiful, green, mountainous landscape. And we have that. It's just in the distance. Okay. We're a high desert here. So we talk about Yakima as being the Palm Springs of Washington. Okay. We get 300 days a year of sun here. It's in the 90s during the summer with zero humidity. And so it's a great place to live. Okay. And our community, it's about 400,000 people in this entire valley. And the people that are from Yakima stay in Yakima. And it's a very family oriented environment. We've got about 125 employees here in Yakima, and almost 25% of those people have been here over 20 years. And that's really rare today in today's environment with people changing jobs all the time. We've got a great group of people here. We recently had lost one of our team members, passed away suddenly. And to see the way the entire family here came together to support each other and support the family, you just don't see that anymore. And we're just super fortunate to be part of this organization that just pushes that. And, it's our 50th anniversary next year in 2023. So we're celebrating that every month. We've got a different event planned to celebrate 50 years and bringing back people from the last 50 years that have been here, just to celebrate the history of this company and being here in this Yakima Valley.
Boy, it just sounds like a really neat organization. So thank you for sharing with us about that. Now, Jon, I understand that you come from the Midwest and you moved to Yakima about a year ago to
Right.
head up Pexco. So now you were also from the automotive industry, so
Mhm.
you've done some different things in your career. So tell me, what should people here in Washington and the Northwest know about different industries, automotive and aerospace, and how they work together?
Well, the first thing you got to know about being in the Pacific Northwest is it's obviously a great place to be. I mean, you can't beat the sunsets over the mountains here, but moving here from the Midwest, it's a different place. Okay. Automotive is a totally different industry. It's a high volume with very low mix. There's not a lot of variation. If you're going to build something for a car, you're going to build 3 million of them. In aerospace, it's completely different. It's very low volume, high mix. Almost every airplane has something that's different on it from the one that's supposed to be just like it. So every 737 MAX is a little different from each other. So it's a different way of manufacturing. So for us coming here, we had to learn to be a lot more flexible and deal exactly with what customers needed very quickly. In automotive, you have a lot longer lead times and a lot longer design time. With aerospace, you've got to be a little bit more nimble and be able to react to the changes in the industry. So there's also a lot more regulation in aerospace from an environmental standpoint. So everything has to be antimicrobial, it has to be recyclable, and it has to be something that's very lightweight so that the airplane doesn't weigh as much. And it has to be it has to meet all the requirements for the FAA. So it's been a big challenge for us to understand all those things, but the great team here has helped me understand it, and we've been able to bring some of that lean manufacturing from the Midwest, from automotive, into here too. So it's been a good marriage over the last year.
Well, wonderful. Well, I'm sure they're really happy to have you there as well. What else can you tell us about bringing new products to the aerospace market now that you've been doing this year?
Well, I got to tell you, going through the FAA process, they call it the STC certification process, is it's a daunting task, and we've learned a lot over the last year and a half as we've brought Airshield to life here. But the one thing that's told me is this process is rigorous, and the FAA cares about safety and cares about doing the right thing for the passenger. So it's kind of emboldened my belief and my understanding with the FAA. But what I can tell you about innovation, the aerospace industry is full of innovation, and Washington is kind of the epicenter of that. I know our team has another version of this Airshield coming out in the next couple of years that will be installed at the OEM when it's built at the factory. Our current version is more to retrofit all the airplanes that are out there. So there's tons of innovation here, and there's lots of innovation on the materials side because we're looking for more recyclable materials, things that don't pollute the environment, and also things that can be safer to touch, like we talked about with the antimicrobial. So there's tons of innovation coming out, not only from Pexco, but all the other great aerospace companies here in Washington.
Well, Jon, thank you so much for coming on to the program today. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate everything you've done for us, and really bringing light to what goes on here in Washington. It's a great publication, just a great opportunity to learn more about aerospace.
Wonderful. Well, thanks again. And thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in today to Northwest Aerospace News Live. We'll be coming to you again very soon with more content. And be sure to check out the August-September 2022 issue for the Pexco Aerospace article that talks about Airshield. So until next time, keep on engaging with the manufacturing and aerospace news through the magazine and through this podcast. And we'll talk to you again soon. Goodbye.